So why is North Long Beach the next best place to invest in California? This is part 2 of our series where we've interviewed the city, local politicians, and even business owners to get a perspective on what is going on in this area, the misperceptions that it has, and also we're gonna get into the interview with Vice Mayor Rex Richardson. We did this interview 6 months ago, and as of now, he has announced that he will be running for mayor. So it's gonna be a unique insight to the way that he thinks, the passion that he has for Long Beach, and the leadership that he's been able to display. Additionally, we interviewed a local business owner who's been in business there for 8 years. We wanted to get her perspective so that we could help validate the research that we've done. In case this is the first video that you've caught, I'm Juan, president of Sage Real Estate, your highest rated real estate broker in the city of Long Beach. Our mission here is to educate folks, show them how to build wealth through real estate investment. And so now let's jump into why North Long Beach is the next best place to invest in California. Mr. Vice Mayor, I know you've been the council member since 2014, one of the youngest, a council member. Now you're vice mayor for the city. Talk to us about the Renaissance and what's been going on here in your district.
North Long Beach is a community with great potential, and it needed a little bit of leadership and vision and some investment. And for the last decade, my predecessor and myself, we really focused on developing the corridors to help match what we already know is that North Long Beach has great homes. Great single family homes, front yard, backyard, one of the last places to buy your first home and begin the process of building wealth. And that's my story. I bought my first home here at 25. I moved from an apartment in Bixby Knolls and bought my first home here. Right. And then, the sale price was, $275,000. And you've seen the home prices more than double over the past 11 years. And now I own 2 homes here in the city, here within the North Long Beach community. And we've been involved in a number of really key strategic investments that help boost our economic progress and some planning efforts to help set a vision for the next 30 years of development in North Long Beach.
One of the things that Vice Mayor points out is that in North Long Beach, his district specifically, the home ownership rate is 77%.
When I bought my first home here in the North Long Beach community, initially folks may have said, hey, there's a lack of investment, incomes are not very high, and so on and so forth, but that hasn't been the experience that I've had, and that's not what the data says about North Long Beach. In fact, my neighborhood has 77% home ownership. We're a community with great access to economic opportunity and other things, and it just needed a little bit of investment.
Why is this important? Because in Long Beach, the average percentage of home ownership is 60. So they have a larger percentage of home ownerships in that area. That is a very good sign. And a lot of folks don't know this. When people own, they take care of their homes more. They're going to pull more permits. This is one of the reasons why they've assembled in all of North Long Beach 13 different neighborhood associations. These are folks that are getting together, they're activated, and they're trying to bring positive change to their neighborhoods.
That's the culture that we have. We're very diverse, but we're a group that really invests in owning the outcome and owning the renaissance that's taking place here in our community. When my predecessor took office, I think there were 4 neighborhood associations in all of North Long Beach. And over the course of 4 and 6 years, you saw an entire new community empowerment model begin to take shape that expanded. We have 13 neighborhood associations right here in the 9th District. We have a new business improvement district. We have new nonprofits that weren't here before. Over the last 6 years, you've seen nonprofits locate here. Long Beach Community Action Partnership, Long Beach Opera, a lot of them moved their headquarters here. And so you see a renaissance taking place of neighborhood associations, nonprofits, community-based organizations, community assets and resources. I mentioned, we're really excited about the commitment that Campfire and Conservation Corps have made to DeForest Park neighborhood right here in North Long Beach in building an environmental stewardship center and a camping facility for our residents right here in the North Long Beach community.
Now this helps shed the myth that it's dangerous there, that it's been ignored, that people don't want to live there. Lots of families live there and they love it. And this area is only going to rebound with the development that's coming in.
This was a redevelopment community, right? A lot of these parcels were assembled over time. When these parcels were assembled, it depressed some property values on the corridor.
In the past, we had the redevelopment agency that had acquired with the funds, a lot of sites in North Long Beach. Now their vision was to redevelop, but then those funds were in jeopardy of being lost. And so what ended up happening is our corridors had a lot of vacant sites, driving down values, and overall just the appeal, and there was no investment in that area. All that is going to be changed through the corridor improvements that are coming through the new developments that are coming through. And what's going to happen, and this is one thing that he's mentioned, is in the past where most of us would quickly drive through Atlantic and try to get onto the 91 and get out of there, now that area is going to be activated.
And by investing in infill development and restoring those developments with modern development that's neighborhood serving and sort of leans forward, establishes a new standard for architecture and all of those things, what it does is makes the neighborhood whole. You'll start to see property values rebound and get to where they are. We all benefit when that happens. And we also are able to make a statement to the development community that, hey, you're not first, right? You're not the first in. You've got a number of great developers, investors who've already made a bet on North Long Beach, and I can tell you it's a smart bet. I own 2 homes here in the North Long Beach community. I started when I was 25 investing. I came to North Long Beach, and I can tell you it's one of the best decisions I've ever made was to really dig in and invest and be a part of this community, a community that has a great, tremendous and bright future.
The third part that the Vice Mayor mentioned was the significant amount of private and public investment that's going into that part of the city right now. And what's going to happen is they're pretty much stitching a neighborhood back together, and a lot has to do with his leadership.
When I took over on the city council in 2014, we were the only district without a bank. We were the only district without a library. We were the only district without a Starbucks. And what we've seen is by placing investment in our public facilities and planning for the future, we've been able to turn that narrative around. We have the largest, most modern library in the city, Michelle Obama Neighborhood Library, the anchor to a broader development by Lab Holdings that's going to really integrate culture and music, townhomes, retail, to really help create a place right there at Atlantic and South Street. We also have gone ahead and invested in development. Uptown Commons has brought new restaurants, a new bank to the community. We have 3 on the way to 4 Starbucks now in the course of a short period of time. And so you're beginning to see North Long Beach bear the fruits of the investments we made over the last 7 to 10 years.
There was a lack of retail amenities, and that's a big reason why developers chose to come here. They're going to bring in retail stores, which is a positive domino effect. It will trigger other folks to want to open up their businesses, open up their doors, serve the community. It's a very positive thing. We're super excited about this. One of the strongest points that the Vice Mayor makes, he said it several times, were
we are really shepherds of the future. The decisions we make today will help guide the investment and development that will take place for 30 years here in North Long Beach. And so there are a number of amenities that the city has opened, lots of investments on city side. Now, all of that was to set the stage for private investment as well. And so we began a process a few years ago called UPLAN, Uptown Planning, Land Use, and Neighborhood Strategy. And what that does is it takes a lot of focus off of the things we don't want to see in the community, more liquor stores or over proliferation of certain uses, and instead invest in the neighborhood serving retail, things like restaurants, things like coffee shops, things that help make a neighborhood and a public living room, help tie a community together. Because what you'll see is there are resources here. We spend a lot of our money in other communities, Bixby Knolls, downtown, Belmont Shore, and a lot of folks want to be able to walk out to the corridor and grab a cup of coffee or get lunch or take a meeting close to their home. And that's the experience that we're building here in North Long Beach with Uptown Commons, with the lab, with the Uptown, and by investing in our public facilities like our community centers, our parks, and our libraries.
There's going to be bistros, coffee shops, gyms, more townhomes than ever before, and people are going to be outside walking, enjoying the weather, enjoying the neighborhood. They're going to slow traffic down, similar to what we've seen in other parts of Long Beach, and that change is very positive. It's going to help that community rebound. And I think he believes it. I think this gives you an insight into the way that the Vice Mayor, Rex Richardson, thinks, the passion he has for the city of Long Beach. He lives in North Long Beach, and it's very interesting now that he's going to be running for the city. You have someone who really cares, someone who believes, someone who's a strong leader, and should be making a good impact moving forward. Now that we have the perspective from the city through the eyes of Vice Mayor Rex Richardson, we also wanted to hear from the folks, boots on the ground, local business owners in the area. So we had a chance to speak with Tanya. Tanya is one of the owners of Robert Earl BBQ, which is widely popular. It's been on many TV shows, and we sat down with her. We had a chance to hear her perspective. They've been in business for 8 years. We talked about the neighborhood, how it's getting better. Some of the development across the street, directly across the street from her, used to be a vacant site, and it's known as Uptown's Commons. She let us know what's going on, the improvements, how it's helped, the things that are getting better. So I hope you enjoy her perspective. Tanya, so you've been here for 8 years.
Yes.
You live in North Long Beach. You've seen Long Beach transform. What's going on? Good, bad, worse, better? Let us know.
Well, my 8 years of being here, we have been thriving. Me and Robert have been very welcoming into this community. We've been here, living here ourselves about 20 years. We live 5 minutes away. However, this side itself it's good. I can say it's good because we haven't had no issues. Yes, there are things that are happening, but it's not something that's affecting the businesses that are around here.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of things that are being developed over here now, and I'm really appreciative of that. It's really brought us more business.
Okay.
And since the COVID, we thought it was gonna, not do good, but actually we've been getting love from Anaheim, Orange County, Palm Springs. We get people from San Diego, Whittier. We get people from coming out of town because we have a show that we are on, and that show itself keep people coming in, and they really are giving us a lot of support for Long Beach, especially Rex Richardson. He has been really supporting us and making sure things get done. But we love being over here. We haven't had any issues.
Now, we also asked her the narrative, the stigma that North Long Beach is a bad area.
It doesn't have nothing to do with the community as far as the owners, the businesses, people who are probably coming into the area.
Right.
So it's not something that ones that are living here. I raised all my children here, and we're been okay, 8 years of being over here has really put us on the map, and I really appreciate all that is happening because we made history, and I'm so happy that we made history to be able to bring North Long Beach up. The city was able to go ahead and get a developer to be able to make more business.
Yes.
So that brings more for the people who live here, and they are really happy. They don't have to go off and look at Starbucks. I live in there.
So here's what I learned from Tanya. It's great to be a business owner in this area. There's a lot of support from the community. And unlike popular belief or the narrative that we hear, it's a safe place to live and to own a business. What can people expect of North Long Beach in the next 5 to 10 years? Like, what's it gonna look like?
So in the next 5 to 10 years, you'll see the Atlantic Avenue corridor and the Artesia Boulevard corridors really be developed into a main street for the community. Where's the place that you would go to bump into a neighbor and have a conversation? Is it the community center? Is it the library? Well, a lot of times it's your coffee shop, it's your ice cream place. And that's what you're gonna be able to see on the Atlantic and Artesia Boulevard corridors. For example, we began a process across the region at really prioritizing the investment into Artesia Boulevard. We were proud to land about $20 million to invest. We break ground this year in creating a walkable, pedestrian-friendly Artesia Boulevard with wider sidewalks, pedestrian dining, additional enhancements to make it safer, permanent dedicated bike lanes on Artesia Boulevard. That helps set the stage for the economic renaissance on Artesia Boulevard. Right. And on Atlantic Avenue, you already see a lot of institutional investment from the Michelle Obama Neighborhood Library. You have the new Houghton Park Community Center anchored here. Jordan High School has $130 million modernization that's just concluding right now. And then you have the private investment and the other partners who are located on the corridor. Long Beach City College has a proposal to locate a building right here on Atlantic Avenue within the next year. You'll also see lots of development. From Uptown Commons has already taken place. You've got interest in grocers and other coffee shops, a gym. You have about 84 townhomes in design with the lab development, some coffee shops, some bistros, some cafes, the types of things that help stitch a neighborhood back together. And so when you couple the private investment with the public investment and the plan for the future, UPLAN, that really prioritizes neighborhood serving retail over liquor stores and nuisance motels, what you see is a very prosperous future and design guidelines and development path that really makes it easy for an investor to see, to literally see what the future will look like and what the future will hold in North Long Beach.
It's exciting to hear that. We live in Long Beach, our business is in Long Beach, and to know that there's that much investment, both private, public, great leadership. North Long Beach has continued to grow, so we want to thank you so much for all that you've done. We can't thank you enough, Mr. Vice Mayor. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
More importantly, why does this make North Long Beach the next best place to invest? There's a lot of factors that go into play. One, pricing. So when we are working with investors and we're looking throughout the city and we're looking at where do we have the most attractive investments, where do we have more opportunity? We're gonna have more inventory in this area. We're gonna have better prices. We're gonna have a better rate of return, a lower price per door or higher cap rate. These are all measurements that if I'm an investor, I'm gonna look at. That's one component. Part two, we now know that North Long Beach is being rebranded, redesigned, revisioned as Uptown. So this area, with the new development coming in, all it's gonna do is gonna rebound real estate values. It's gonna improve those corridors with all the modern buildings that are coming. We have the library, all these parks, community centers. That area is gonna improve. So when I talk about invest in the path of growth, you may not see it today, but it's coming really soon. So before you get priced out of this area, I would certainly look to invest here. So there you have it, part two of our North Long Beach video series. We're certainly proud on the coverage that we gave it. And if you're an investor, someone who's looking for the next best place to invest, please reach out to us. What we've done for a few of the folks who are not familiar with Long Beach is we've given them a tour. We've driven you folks around, taking you through North Long Beach, showing you the sites, where the new development's coming, so that we can make you a more knowledgeable investor. We look forward to working for you. And that's all for now. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, any questions, comment below. Until next time.